think it's a very unique situation, isn't it? That not only the manager's been there, which we talk about all the time, to have that longevity as a manager is pretty special, but to have a player be with you pretty much the whole time, other than the stint away, is also unique. And it's something that you don't often see, players moving on such mutual ground with such mutual respect, and get to have their flowers. I mean, for you, Troy, leaving Watford, you were a Watford legend. Was it a different moment? How did you find that when you left?
He's not allowed back in the building now. His pass doesn't work.
Listen,
Are you still loved by the fans?
On my terms. they weren't happy. I was happy. No, you know, in all seriousness, again, you can't compare the two just because Atletico Madrid and Watford are not even on the same page. However, in terms of time spent, it was very difficult. I think, you know, a few years removed now, you look back and you think, wow. My kids, my oldest son's 16, he only knows we played for Watford. He grew up there, so even like the girls in the back who were doing the cooking, they used to look after my son. They know, even if I was to go back there now, they know my order, they know my drink order, we know each other's families. Our family grew up. I went in there as a 20-year-old kid who thought he knew everything, and I left as a 32-year-old dad of four. You know, like you're in that situation, like, oh wow, a completely different person. And yeah, it's difficult, it's hard. And I think if you asked every footballer, they'd want to leave like that. Not many, I'd say 0.5% of people get to leave on those terms. When you are, if it had left a year ago, it'd probably been a year too early. And if it leaves next year, it's a year too late. He's left at the perfect moment where he's still starting Champions League games. He's still adding value to the team. But they all understand the team's moving in a different direction. And he's going to go. The fans are happy that he's getting to say goodbye. He's happy he gets to say goodbye. And the manager gets to do it in that way. That's a very unique situation that not many footballers, not even Messi got that at Barcelona.
It's so true.
And I just think what Troy said is right. 100% of footballers who make it to become a professional, play at the highest level for whether it's 4 or 5 years or onwards, would love to leave a club like that. They would love a manager to speak so highly of him. And when you watch that again, it's beautiful, is the word to use to describe it. Because you're talking about a manager who's been there as long as the player, and we're knowing more about Griezmann, the person, than really the player. And for a manager to say that and speak so highly of you, it means so much. And it's also a manager that who's also been in the game for so long to see the change in the game. So this goes back to, this is bigger than the player. This is the personality of the player that you don't get to see, we don't get to see. We watch the player on the pitch, but this is the impact he has in the building, the influence he has at training, the influence he has around all the other players, that it's not going to be easily replaced. So when a manager speaks so highly of you like that, he knows that there is a big hole that is not going to be easily replaced with a player of that quality and that impact beyond the football pitch.
And then one final bit on that, though. How lucky are the MLS? How lucky is Orlando City to be getting that player? They're not getting a player right at the end of his career who's like, this will be fun. You're talking to all the human elements that he's got there. He's got to make the MLS, better in terms of the quality, but also now that organisation just gets better, Grell, for having somebody of that level, that quality, but that human come in the building.
Yeah, I mean, lucky. We're very well paid, too. He's not going there for free. A lot of Benjamin Franklins.
That's true.
Don't ever change.
But it's an amazing player.
Got paid a lot at Atleti as well. Who wants to know a fun fact, by the way, about Antoine Griezmann? You probably already know. His kids today, actually, all three of them, different ages, born on the same day.
He's got a great schedule.
Do we know what month?
They're born today, April 8th, is it? Do we know what month? Yes, April.
I was just trying to think of the...
All different ages.
All born today.
All born today, though, years apart.
Hey,
Crazy.
Great schedule.
We've put out a poll that says who is the greatest player of all time for Atletico. Antoine Griezmann is running away with it, 72%. Koke's in there as well. I think no arguments, though, right, boys? You all agree? Greatest player of all time for Atleti?
Yeah.
No, Godin was
very good.
Unbelievable player.
Would he get your vote?
Servant for them, but Griezmann is probably the best player.
Oh, well, Antoine Griezmann, a decade with the club across 2 stints, 211 goals, the club's all-time record goal scorer. He did win the Europa League with Atletico Madrid back in 2018. And as he's moving on at the end of the season, Diego Simeone gave him his flowers in the build-up to this match.
Antes Juanjo empezar a preguntarles a Antoine la pregunta que le van a hacer. Quería desde el lado del entrenador que soy y desde el hincha también del Atlético de Madrid, que hoy sí estaría en mi lugar y tendría la oportunidad de estar en una conferencia de prensa con Antoine, agradecerte todo tu trabajo, agradecerte toda tu humildad. Sos una persona admirable para los chicos de hoy en una sociedad donde necesita gente como vos. Gracias por todo lo que nos diste, todo lo que nos das y todo lo que te voy a obligar a que nos sigas dando. Gracias por tu compromiso, gracias por cómo te comportaste siempre como profesional, como persona, sabiendo diferenciar esa relación tan linda que tenemos como familia y no pasar esa línea difícil de llevar, que es la del entrenador y el amigo jugador o no amigo jugador. Te considero un jugador y después un amigo. Y quedan 8 partidos de liga, queda un partido de Copa del Rey y si Dios quiere vamos a jugar 5 partidos más en Champions. Así que te invito a que sigas disfrutando. Te quiero mucho. Si hoy estaría cualquier hincha del Atlético de Madrid te estaría diciendo las mismas palabras. Me siento absolutamente identificado en ellos. Soy tu entrenador. Sabes que si mañana no corre vas para afuera. Y nada más. Perdón, era solamente decir estas palabras.
Oh, well, this was back in their first press conference together, 2015, and over 10 years later, still with that twinkly eye look. That was really touching, wasn't it, Grell?
Yeah, it was, and obviously the story is Griezmann and how great he is. I just can't go over Simeone. He's one of the highest paid coaches in the world, and I just think what an unbelievable communicator he is, right? So clear, so precise of what he said and how he said it. He gave him a little, hey, you're a player. I know you as a player first, then as a friend. But what a relationship, what a club, what a group of guys that have accomplished, I think, so much. You know, a lot of the time the conversation is Atletico Madrid. Could they have done more? They do spend a lot of money. I think it's been difficult for them with Real Madrid and Barcelona there, but these two have accomplished so much together over the course of 11 seasons now. And I think it's just a really special moment. I know as a player, I would have loved for a manager to speak about me like that, because you get paid a lot of money to play football, but also you put a lot into it, you know, and I don't think you ever really get to thank you for that. So that's a really special moment between those two.
You said that as a player. I'd have loved that at my wedding. I would have loved my wife to talk to about
I just had to pay the bill.
But it's it's again, when you look at a day and age when players have to be there for 11 years in itself in the modern game is a great feat. But then when the manager talks about your humility, your humbleness as a person, he's talking about a football player, but he's actually talking about the person behind the scenes. And I think that's what's going to be so difficult for Atletico Madrid to replace. Yes, the talent. Yes, he's wonderful. But that human connection behind is always hard when players leave from a long period of time, because you build relationships. As me and Nigel know, we've been at clubs a little bit longer than Grella. Grella was more.
I was the opposite.
Yeah, he
was
got
a bit
his
of a journeyman, wasn't he?
I wouldn't say journeyman. He was more looking for pastures new, trying to find his right home, is what I was going to say. But we spent a lot more time there. You get to know the security staff, ground staff. You know, everybody. You know them there, and then when that person leaves, you just find that it's just a hard mechanism to just put back in for people to try and fill.